Hello and welcome back to part 6 of my playthrough of GMT's Tri-Pack Battles of the American Revolution, Eutaw Springs. The Brits are in trouble. If you remember from last time, if you've been watching, the Americans still have a strong force here. The Brits, although they had quite a good turn last turn, have split their forces. They managed to rally a couple of units here, but poor old Stuart is all alone with the Grenadiers in the HQ. Here's the American victory hex, and we've got a couple of horse units, Swamp Fox and a rifle unit, trundling towards them. So we'll see what this turn brings. Let's roll for initiative. Both the Americans and the British now have high morale, so they both get a +1 to their die roll for initiative. So as always, it's red for the British, blue for the Patriots. Let's see. Oh, 6-2. The Brits get the initiative. So here we are, Brits at 1 p.m. Turn 7. You can see the Brits have got a momentum, and there's a few bits and pieces here. We've got 3 captured British, 1 captured artillery for the Americans, or from the Americans, and here we don't count the foraging party, but there's 2 more Americans and the British rifle unit. Remember, they count towards victory points at the end, and as you can see, both have high morale. Right, let's get going. Brits have the initiative, and so the first thing is the movement phase. I'll have a think and then I'll get back to you. Right, what have I done? I've moved up Marchbanks and the other unit to consolidate them here to attack this stack. I've moved Coffin back because I don't want him to attack this, and if they want to attack, they've got to move in, and they'd have to attack both at the same time. If we can get rid of that, that'll be cool. I've moved up the 2nd Royal Highlanders and the artillery, so at least they can have a go, or the artillery can have a go at Swamp Fox in a minute, and also to help defend the HQ. So, hope that's right. It is now the rally phase, but the Brits do not have any units to rally now. Next, defensive artillery phase. Let's have a look at that. The Americans do have an artillery unit here. And they're going to fire on Delancey. The rationale, if they can move it back or get rid of it, that'll knock the odds down on this because they can see what's going to happen during the close combat. So, Gaines's artillery is attacking Delancey. I think there's a line of sight there down the hex spine. I think that's all right. Let me know if it isn't. That's how I'm sort of looking at it. 1 SP. They are. Oh, it's going to be dodgy. 2 to 3 hexes away. Yes, they're 2 hexes away. That is a 9. Don't think there's any DRMs. No. So that's going to be a 9. Bit of a tall order, but it's worth a shot. 9 to hit. They threw a 2. No luck. Next is rifle fire phase, but they're not in range up the top there. So it is now close combat. 2 lots of combat going on. This against this, this against this. I'll just pop that there. Let's do this one first. We've got 4 against 3. The British still have to be daring. This isn't a great attack, but let's see. That's a 1-to-1. The British lead unit is going to be, well, they're both a 0. So Delancey. So nothing to add there. No DRMs. So it's now the defenders. It's the Virginia Brigade. So they've got a +1. So it's a -1 off the die roll. Now it's tactics. Both are engaging without a leader. Is withdraw plausible? Well, certainly is for the Brits. Let's see what they get. Withdraw plausible. Table 1. D8. They get a 3, and that is stand fast. Desperate times. Now, can the Virginia Brigade withdraw? They're 3. Yep, they can go back to there. Right, that's okay then. D8. They throw a 7. Skirmish. Stand fast and skirmish. Oh, it's a +1. So that cancels that out. So it's just on the luck of the dice. 1-to-1. Let's see what happens. Here we go. 7. 7 on the 1-to-1. Oh, it retreats. Delancey has to move in. I think we'll move that in as well. Otherwise you'll get annihilated. Oh dear. Did I think this through? As I say, tactics, I'm learning. Well, let's do the other one. Up here, just have a clean up. Oh, excuse me. Right. What do we got here? 2, 6, 3, 4, 6. Another 1-to-1. Lead unit for the Brits. Yeah, we use that light infantry. We are now high morale. I say we, the Brits, are now high morale. They get a +2 and a +1 for Marchbank, so it's a +3. The Americans. Oh, 2 -1s. They'll use the Pitkins Sumter militia, but nothing to add on because they have 0 morale. Right, tactics. The Brits are engaging with a leader. The opponent has no leader. Is flank possible? There we are. Withdraw plausible? Yes. Table 5. D10. 5. Attack on echelon. Defenders. Engage without a leader. Is withdraw plausible? Yes. So that is table 1. D8. They throw a 5. Attack on echelon. So that's nothing. They cancel out. So it is the Brits on a 1-to-1 with a +3. 5 + 3 is 8. Oh, disrupted. The Brits are fighting back. This was the lead unit. 1, 2, 3. And one of them. These units have to check for morale, and they're both on -1 for morale. So, oops. Nothing to take off for their morale because the Americans are high morale, but they've got a -1, 5 or more. We'll do the palmetto foot first. 6, they're okay. Whoops, can't see that. 6. -1 is 5, they're okay. And North Carolina militia, -1 again. They throw a 3 though. They retreat. And the Brits have to look up on here for they suffered a D. The Americans lose an army morale. Oh, they're both at 12. Right, I think that's it. Let's see what havoc the Americans are going to cause. Okay, American movement phase. First thing of which is disrupted units can move 1 hex. So I think we will move those there. Next, normal movement. And as usual, I shall have a think and I'll get straight back. So, how have the Americans moved? Well, I've just moved up the unit here to consolidate any attacks we may do on the Brits here. Swamp Fox and the rifle unit have moved up to attack Stuart in the HQ, and I've also moved up the horse from here, round here, to enter one of the encampment hexes. A bit naughty of me, because it may be a disadvantage to the Americans, but I wanted to show you what happens when American units enter an encampment for the first time. So there we are. Bit of a misplay here. When I moved the horse round, I shouldn't have moved them both into the hex. I didn't follow the rules of the game. Remember, you're supposed to just move 1 unit at a time, because as soon as a unit enters in this hex, something happens. Its movement stops and something happens. And it only happens to the first unit that goes into that hex with the little tents, and that is looting. They have to look on the looting table. So this was here. I'm going to move this one round, and now we have to look on the looting table. Now the reason I've used Lee's horse is because you can see here it has the best chance of not getting disordered. We have to throw a 0. If I'd have used some other state troops, 0 to 6, you see, or militia, oh dear, you can't trust them. So I'm using Lee's Legion horse. They now have to throw on this looting table to see if they get disordered. And if they do, bad things happen, like they cannot move or attack, they defend at half SP, they don't have any zones of control, lots of things. So they're wandering around drunk. So let's see if they get disordered. There we go. So for Lee's Legion, we have to throw a 0 for them to succumb to the temptations. No, 1, they're okay. They do now control that hex. And we can move Palmetto horse now. We don't get another looting roll. It's only the first unit that enters. So there we are. Sorry about that. Okay, back to the battle. Next, it's the rally phase for the American, and the Americans have 1 unit here. The Pitkins and Sumter. They are high morale, so let's see if we can rally these. They need a 5 or more. They've got 0 morale, so 5 or more as is. No, 2. They stay disrupted. Next, it's defensive artillery phase. Now the Brits do have artillery there. I think they're going after Lee's Legion. So, as before, they have an SP of 2. They are adjacent. Any other DRMs? Oh, Target is artillery or mounted dragoons. They get a +1. That's it. So they need a 6 +1 because Lee's obviously dragoon. And remember me saying, even they say mounted dragoon, it applies to anything on an horse. So it is a 6 with a +1. 6 +1 is 7. So they do hit. And as you remember now, we're doing the artillery fire against non-artillery, so we're using this bit here. Let's see what they get. They throw a 6. It's disrupted. The unit is disrupted and has to withdraw 3. And which way? I think they'll come this way. 1, 2, 3. They can withdraw that way or retreat that way and get a disrupted token on it. Oh. That's the end of the defensive artillery fire phase. Because Lee's Legion horse was disrupted, Americans get a -1 to their morale. Oh, they are now teetering. Okay, it's rifle fire phase now. The South Carolina militia are going to have a go at the grenadiers in the One-Toot plantation. The rifles are at a disadvantage firing into the house. They have a -2 DRM. They are 1 SP. I think that's it. They've got to throw a 7 with a -2. Here we go. 2. No, didn't work, but it was worth a shot. Next then, it's close combat. Now it's Swamp Fox and the rifle unit attacking, but I think we'll only use, Swamp Fox. Oops. So it's a 2-to-1. Swamp Fox is the lead unit, of course, and he here has a +1 morale. Just to remind you, both sides still have high morale. Don't think there's any other DRMs. No. So, Brits, Grenadiers have a +2 morale. There is no combat DRM from Stuart. But because Swamp Fox is attacking the One-Toot plantation house, they get a -1, or he gets a -1. Oops. So, it's a 2-to-1 with a -2. Let's see how Swamp Fox fares. Oh, tactics. Nearly forgot. We just move that down a bit. There we go. That's better. Right. Might zoom out in a minute. Tactics. Engage with a leader, because Swamp Fox is classed as a leader for tactics. So engage with a leader. Yes, opponent has a leader. Flank possible. Well, he could go round the side, I suppose, of the house. Okay. And is withdraw plausible? Yes. So table 9, D8. Oh, can't see that. That was a 7. Turn flank. He is going round the side of the house. What's he up to? And the Brits. Engaging with the leader. Yeah. Opponent has a leader. Is flank possible? Well, they're in a house. No, I'd say no. But they can withdraw if they wish. I think, can they? No, I don't think they can. They'd have to withdraw this way, or this way. And these are zones of control of the Americans. So no. Table 10. That's a D10. That is a 9. Refuse flank. So Turn flank. Refuse flank. Oh, that's a -2. Not looking good for Swampy. So that is -4, -5, -4, I think. Oh, let's have a look. 2 to 1 though. Here we go. 0. No. -4. Well, we can't go down to -4. It's captured. Swamp Fox. Captured. Oh, and there's this. +1 for the Brits. Army morale -2. But it says here, see rule 317. And that says, not only does that occur, but that happens as well. You add them up. Oh, let's do that. So, let's do these adjustments. Brits get a +1. Oh, Americans get a -2. +1, -2. They are fatigued. But we have to look at this as well. Well, not that one. This one, captured, have unit captured. Another +1 for the Brits and another -1 for the Americans. Oh, fate works in mysterious, weird ways. The tables have turned. The rifle unit doesn't have to make a morale check because it wasn't involved in the close combat. So that's something. Okay. Let's look at the other close combat. So it's the Palmetto Horse against the 2nd Royal Highlanders. And that's a 1 to 1. The Palmetto Horse doesn't have any morale, 0 morale. But because of that catastrophe that just happened with Swamp Fox, they are fatigued and they get a -1 to their morale. The 2nd Royal Highlanders also have 0 morale, but the Brits, are high morale, so no additions or subtractions there. So, any other close combat DRMs? No, I don't think so. Tactics. Engage without a leader. Withdraw plausible. Yes. So that is table 1. D8. 7. Skirmish. For the Brits is withdraw plausible. Yes, they can withdraw into the house. 8. Skirmish again, so no additions, no tactic DRMs, so it's as is. 1 to 1 with a -1. 1! -1 is of course 0, and on a 1 to 1, it's a step loss. So, step loss. They are eliminated. Army morale. +1 for the Brits, -1 for the Americans. Crikey. The Brits are on 14, the Americans are on 7. The Americans, upon hearing Swamp Fox's capture, are enraged, and as such they're going to have these 3 units attack this lone unit. Dear oh dear. So let's work out the odds, the ratio. What we got? 2, 3 there. 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. I think that's an artillery there. Yeah. 14 to 4. 14 to 4, I think, would be 3 to 1, but there is a column shift because they are using a diversion against this stack here. So we go down to 2 to 1. Lead unit for the Americans. Oh, it's the Maryland Brigade. Let's say the bane of the Brits. +2. But they are now fatigued, are the Americans. So they get a -1 to their unit morale. So that's only a +1. But Green adds another 1 because of his combat DRM. Don't think there's any other attacker benefits. No. Defenders. Oh dear. No, they're both 0, so there's no... Whoops. So there's no morale adjustment. They don't have a leader with them. So it is now just tactics. For the Americans, engage with a leader. Opponent has no leader, well, not on the stack. Is flank possible? No. Looks like these 2 are occupied, of course. They have to be clear. Withdraw plausible, though. Yes. Table 3. And that is a D8. See if we can get it there. See if we can get some of that in shot. No, let's... Oops, knocking everything flying. Let me just zoom out a bit. There we are. D8. That is a 7. Frontal assault. They have got the ump, haven't they? Now, the Brits are actually engaging with a leader for tactics, because a leader has to be either on the stack or adjacent. So you can shout orders across, I think, to tell them to do that. Opponent has a leader. Flank is not possible. Withdraw plausible. I think I'm reading this right. I hope I am. Table 7. That's a D6. Well, that's a 1. Skirmish. A good old skirmish. So frontal assault, skirmish. Oh no, that's a +2. It's the worst thing. They are enraged. So, with a +4 on a 2 to 1, here we go. 3 + 4 is 7. On a 2 to 1. Disrupted. The lead unit is disrupted, which is, I didn't actually say, well, I'm going to use Delancey, so it goes back 1, 2, 3. And one of them. The other unit has to check for morale. They are high morale now, though, but with 0 unit morale, so we need a 5 or more. 1, no. Oh, that attack put the willies up them. Moving back 1. And because that unit was disrupted, the Brits get a -1 to their morale, but they're quite high. They're now at 13. Right. God, dear, it's getting bloody. It's getting personal. That's the end of the close combat. Well, that's the end of turn 7. What an eventful turn. Americans losing another sort of leader, and the Brits rallying quite well. Still not decided who's going to win this. This is going to be, I think, decided on victory points. But we'll see. We'll see. I am having tremendous fun playing this game. So I think we'll leave it there. I've had too much excitement for one day. This has been Turn 7 of GMT's tri-pack Battles of the American Revolution, Eutaw Springs. And if you're enjoying it as half as much as I am, please have a consideration to subscribe and push the like button of the video and the bell and all that. It does help. And as always, thanks to my subscribers. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to have a lie down in the dark room. So until next time, you take care and goodbye.